Hello, this is Kaz, and I wanted to showcase a little bit about the new rogue check changes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go into skirmish, single player mission. This is going to be about how combat works. Some of the new things that change is that, the rounds used to be, what was it, 5 that you went through, and you knew what your initiative was going to be. Well, that's all changed. Now you have 30, and with 30 you can end up in a lot of spots um, depending on the situation. So here I have this test pilot. I'm going to use in both in the same. I'm going to pick a foggy night just to showcase some of the other features such as night vision. Hit play. Now with this mod, besides changing initiative, it also changed how sensors work so that they're more effective or more active, shall we say, in gameplay. It's not just a +1 or -1 bonus to do something. So now you actually need to get sensory data. Okay, let's drop on this mission.
Command interface initiated.
Now, as you can see, it's a nighttime, it's foggy overclass, and uh, they've added some nice, neat little features. So what you'll see here, this 19 shows my initiative out of a 30 round or 30 phase, as you can see up here, phase uh, combat section or turn. So if we look here, you see this shows vision and sensors. It shows what my visual lock in meters and my scanners. So those are the two things that you have, what you see and what you can pick up off your sensors or scan. And it gives you a details check. And right now my details check is +2. My tactics is giving me +6. And my sensors that I have installed on my mech is giving me 3. So, total there I've got 11 points there worth of details check, which is good. If I was looking at something right now, I'd be able to see information on it. Over here it tells you about my initiative. The mech is getting me to 12, plus I have one from one of the components that I have on my mech, and my tactics is giving me +6 due to my pilot's tactics, and that will bring you up to 19 right there, 13 +6. But there's a random factor, and that's also adjusted by how high your tactics are. And for me, well, my tactics is from -4 to 0, and basically that can drive it all the way down if I have a bad random roll to 15, but I won't be below 15. So you can also get this information when you hover over in the mech bay when you're about to drop. So yeah, now let's move up. Now I have some activatable equipment on this mech, and the way that you see that is you click down here on the move, and it will bring up this menu. You have to hold down Control and click with your thumb, your left mouse button, and depending on the activatable equipment that you have, it'll show up here, and some of it will have buttons if it can be manually activated. Now I have a sniper console and a targeting mod that can be manually activated. I also have some triple strength myomer that I created that is not activatable manually, but it can be activated. And the way it is activated is you see this heat number right here. It gives right now I don't have any heat, so it's 0, but at 54 heat it's going to activate. All of your activatable equipment have these little fail things on it. Like for example, it says here for my sniper console it has a 10% chance to fail. So anytime I try to activate it, click the button, it activated. There was a 10% chance it would have failed. Next round it might fail, and I may have to reactivate again, or it'll stay on. And that's how that works. Some activatable equipment increases its chance the longer that it's on, like mask. So you have to be kind of aware of that when you purchase the item or get the item, pick it up, to find out if it increases the longer that you have it on. Okay, so I'm going to click on that again because I also want to activate my accuracy module, and in my turn. So the reason I activated those was because I'm going to be using them here shortly. Now you see this time I'm at 18. So my roll wasn't as good as last time. Starting out, you usually start out at max. But notice how the screen changed. Now it's all greenish, like a night vision type. That's because of a mod that I have on that particular cockpit that I'm using for night vision. And it gives certain bonuses to get rid of the negative effects that you might have due to it being nighttime. So if we look over here, in my vision it says I have +2, 6, and 3. Now, let me move up, find a target. Now, as you can see, I can actually see the guy even though there's like a little triangle above his head, but it just says sniper melee. It doesn't give me what tonnage or anything it is. Now, if I click on him, all of a sudden, you see I get the name of the mech, which is, you know, when we start out it's sniper melee, the same mech I'm in, and I can see all of the information here that it has. Now, you need to note this because later on you're going to see that that doesn't work. But I can see the structure, I can see enough information to know that he has an engine in the side torso. That's all because of this vision and sensors giving me that details check. With that much information available, it's high enough to overcome his countermeasures. So I have a total there of 11, and that's high enough to counter what that mech or the mech that I have is putting out. Now, as you can see, my rotary AC5s are the only thing that can hit at this range. If I mouse over it, you can see the reason why. It shows up there that I'm at medium range, and it gives all the modifiers such as no visuals. I don't have a visual on him. I am actually seeing that mech through my sensors. Okay, so let's go ahead and pump this up to 6. I want to build a little bit of heat over here, and we're going to fire at him. Oh, I got a few hits out of that. Let's see what he does. Yeah, that figures he...
Okay, that was bad.
Anyway, you notice how he gets to fire again. Why? The reason he fires again is because look at my initiative. I'm a 16.
That hit hard.
So when this round ended with him firing at me, he beat me this time on initiative. So just because I think I'm going to start like with vanilla, you're not necessarily going to start off in the same order as you had the previous round. So that could have put me down on the ground if he would have landed more hits due to the amount of stability that he puts out. So I'm just going to move here, shake off some of that stability. And now you'll see that I can put my medium lasers into the mix, and I can build up a little bit of heat. Now remember before down here when click on move, it showed all of my stuff and these buttons. Well, now you don't see the buttons, and the reason for that is because I have him targeted. When you have a target, your buttons won't show up. You have to come out, release the target, and then the buttons show up, and then retarget them. So I'm going to do that right now. So the fire buttons went away, so I don't have them targeted. Hold down Control, and there you go. You see, I can now change it. So if I was to change my snipe to off, okay, it says sniper console deactivated. You'll notice that now it still looks green. The only reason that is because it works on activation. So next round, when I activate again, that's when it's going to go back to the nighttime vision and not the vision that we're in right now. Let me shoot him real quick and build up as much heat as I can.
Affirmative.
Bunch of misses. Notice my armor came online. I couldn't normally put it online, but it came online.
Waiting for orders.
Now if we take a look, it says boosted. Shows my heat. My heat is at 55. Now notice that second number is different. Before it was 54 over here. That's what I needed to get my heat up to where I could boost it. I barely did, and now it's showing the value in which the state will change. So if I drop to below 48, it's going to go out. Alright, so I'm going to leave this on long range. I'm going to leave that deactivated so you can see what happens. You notice how now it's no longer in that night vision type of look. Now it actually looks normal. Okay, so with boosted, you can see this slow mech can move a lot farther due to the speed on the TSM that I'm using. But I'm just going to normally move, so back to a normal movement to here.
On my way.
Now, something to note is that I don't want my heat to go down right now. I want to kind of keep that boosted state. So if I target him, you see I go way up here to an overheat level. So I can take off some of these lasers. Now if we look, it shows these lasers are at long range. If I was to use, let me get out of targeting mode, use my targeting module and turn it to short range and then target him. Notice how it's down to 28 and I was at 37. But look at, because these are in a different range, my rotaries, they're at 22.8. But if you look at what it says up there, it says medium range. By being in medium range, it was getting a bonus before from my targeting module, which was putting it up a little bit. These that were long range would get a bit more because that's the way that particular module works. Long range, it gives a small bonus of +1 to medium and a +3 bonus to long. Okay, so I don't want to overheat, so I'm going to turn off the normal medium lasers. I want to keep some heat up, but as I know, I could get overheated by him actually hitting me. So that should be a good amount. Another thing is over here where the brace or shield, where that's located, if you hold down control, it brings up another menu on heat sinks only. It shows your current heat level, what you overheat at and what you shut down at. And it also shows you your chassis heat sinks. Right now I have a heat sink that's on, and it will show down here the number of heat sinks you have. And I want to turn that heat sink off. So I'm going to take off one heat sink. You notice my heat went up. If I put it back on, it went down. I'm going to turn off that heat sink because I don't want it to help me. I want to build up some heat. So done. And now I'm going to turn off another medium laser. So that's where I'm at for my heat. I'm going to shoot at him. It's going to be a small amount of damage, but
Here we go.
what I was going for to show that I still get to keep my my triple strength myoma. Now he went all out, getting a lot of stability damage on me. And if he gets a better roll than me
Commander.
in the next round, he could put me on the ground. And he's moving again. He's going to shoot. Let's see what happens. Okay, internal. Luckily I didn't fall.
That got through my armor, Commander.
So, now,
Commander?
at this point, because I'm steady like that, even though my armor is boosted and I would be able to run up a bit farther, I'm unsteady. So I have to shake some of this off. So now I'm going to put the back on long range for my targeting module. And since I can't run, I'm going to have to walk.
Moving to position.
Now notice now I can see that it's a king crab, but the pilot is unidentified. That's the amount of sensory information I'm getting. If we look over here again, it shows my details check is 0 this time. And then I still have my 6 for tactics and my 3 for sensors. So you can tell that the more you have in your sensors and the more tactics you have, the easier it's going to be for you to know what everything is over here on your enemy. Okay, so let's shoot him again. I don't want to go over. I do want to do enough damage though. I'm going to add just one laser. Now notice how these are at 74 and these are at 37. If you look, you can see again the no modifier for range. What that means is that I'm at short range for that weapon. I've moved into short range. With these lasers though, it's showing medium range for those. So they're benefiting from having that module on. Now if I back out of targeting him, okay, I have this set for long range. Now setting it for short range, which is what I am with my rotaries, I should have a better hit chance when I target him. And I do. You can see that went up, but these went down. And the reason is because with the short range, now these aren't getting boosted as much. That +1 that they were getting them into the 70s. But this isn't taking the penalty of -4 for being at short range. And that's the way that particular module works that I designed, was that it takes the points that it uses in long range and medium range and it takes them from short range. So you're actually at a -1 with the penalty with your short range. Anyway, let's go ahead and shoot him again.
Right, Commander.
Keeping my heat up.
Critical hit.
So this is showing you a bit about, as you can see, he's in 18, so he beat me with my 17. But he decides that he's going to go over and get me out of sensor range. Doesn't want me getting more information on him. But that's good because what it does is it allows me to shake off some stability and get a back shot. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, something to also note about this mod is that if you didn't play it before, there's different ways to turn your stuff on, off, and change its settings. So like with this rotary, by clicking on the far right, it changes the modes of that particular weapon. Not every weapon has modes, but the ones that do, that's how you would change it. So doing so, as you can watch with my heat over here, I can actually change how much heat that I would be putting out. So let's target him so we can see the heat bar. And now let's go ahead and pump up the heat, and you'll see it getting less and less till I get up. And also note that the 2 hit chance is changing on these rotaries. The more you actually fire, the worse the hit chance is due to refire. Okay. Put on one more laser, and that's keeping my heat where it is. If I want to know where my heat is, I can come down here to brace, hold down Control and click, it can show my current heat level is 75. So I'm going to shoot him.
Roger, Commander. I've got the
Now if I had missiles, the ammo, if you clicked in the middle, you would be able to switch between your ammos. Now if you look, you can see that
Commander.
I've got a 17 over my head and there's a 16 over that particular king crab. That means I beat him in initiative. I just shot him, and then I turn right around the next round, beat him in initiative, and I get to shoot again. This is a great mechanic. So also notice that now I can hit him. Since I'm no longer unstable, I can actually run up and punch him. And with that, my weapons that work in melee, such as my plasma lances, will hit. Now, something to note with these is that they also have a range on them. If they have a range on them like that, my let me back out of the attack. My accuracy modifier, which is set for short range, okay, which is normal. If I put it up, now it's set for long range, that to hit chance is lower. If you see, it's now 79 and 63. That's because of the changes. So you have to be aware of what your activated equipment is on. Okay, so let's go ahead, unselect, go ahead and let's change that. Let's go ahead and attack him.
Affirmative.
Hopefully this is a kill. I do 358 with that myomer. Now with this particular mech, it has a light engine I created, so destroying a side torso doesn't actually destroy the whole engine.
Critical hit, Commander.
Now you saw that going down, -4 penalty. That's because when you get knocked down, that all affects your initiative. Look at his initiative, it's an 11. But he hadn't acted this round because I got the first attack, so he still gets to act in this round. So if you get hit and pummeled and knocked down to the ground, it really messes with your initiative. Now that was a bad sign as well, because his mech, he just overheated to where his triple strength myomer is up. So he can hit me very hard.
Waiting for
I
orders.
want to finish him. So if you look, I'm deactivated on my myomer because my cooling dropped below 48. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the Berserker ability, because this is a 10-10 pilot, to get my melee back up a little bit off of the pilot skill. Oh, he moved in a position where I couldn't hit him. Nice. In that case, we'll just shoot. That was a wasted turn. But give him everything at short range. And hopefully I don't explode.
That's a critical hit.
And he's out of here.
Getting pretty hot in here,
My
Commander.
armor boosted, but I didn't explode any of my ammo. I had shot so much of it. Anyway, thank you for watching this. And if you liked the video, please put a thumbs up below. And hopefully I can do some more of these in the future. Enjoy.